There's a moment every man feels, but almost never admits. That silent instant when you realize she's still around, even when she's not. It doesn't matter how much time has passed, weeks, months, or even years. Certain things she does start to confuse you. Out of nowhere, she appears, strikes up a conversation, talks about missing you, reminisces about stories. And then comes the doubt that keeps you awake at night. Does she want to come back? This video is for you who have been through this, or are going through it now. And if you pay attention until the end, you'll discover details she doesn't even realize she's showing. But that screamed the truth. Most men ignore these signs because they come disguised as silly talk, innocent nostalgia, random messages that seem unimportant. But behind these actions, there's an emotional language, a veiled request for reconnection, a test, an attempt to return without losing pride. And if you don't know how to interpret what she's doing, you might end up in a game you don't know how to play. Or worse, you might miss an opportunity that, if misinterpreted, won't come back. So take a deep breath, because from now on, I'm going to show you the 10 most subtle and dangerous signs a woman gives when she's about to ask to come back. And no, this isn't guesswork, it's not a hunch. This is raw human behavior. Pay attention to every detail, because if she's giving these signs, it's because her heart hasn't left your life yet. Before we continue, I need to tell you something. This video only reached you because someone liked it and subscribed to our channel. Now it's your turn to do the same. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so this chain of knowledge keeps growing and reaching more people. Also, comment down below which city you're watching from, because I want to know how far this video is traveling. Now, no more delays, let's get to the good stuff. First sign, she starts bringing up subjects out of nowhere. It's no coincidence when a woman resurfaces in your life with a random message, an untimely, "Hey stranger," or a trivial question that didn't need to be asked. You can be sure there's something behind it. This type of contact isn't about the subject itself. It's about presence. She wants to occupy space again. She wants to know if there's still an opening, if you're still accessible, if there's still a chance. And the most dangerous part, all of this comes disguised as naturalness, as if it were simple curiosity or a memory. But if you pay attention to the moment she chooses, you'll realize there's hidden feeling there. Normally, this bringing up subjects out of nowhere happens in moments of emotional silence. It could be in the middle of the night, after a few drinks, or on a boring Sunday, and she won't say, "I miss you" right away. She'll test the waters with seemingly innocent messages, but behind them is the silent cry of someone who hasn't gotten over you. It's at this point that many guys get confused. They think it's just politeness, or that it's too late to try to understand. But her first move is a subtle invitation, a way of saying, "Could I still come back? Are you still there?" And if you don't know how to recognize it, you'll treat it as something small, when in reality, it was the first step of a return she hasn't had the courage to make. If you're tired of watching her play games, ignore you, and do whatever she wants with your feelings, it's time to show who's in charge of the game. It's time to make her chase you and recognize your true value. In the first pinned comment, I've left a step-by-step guide on how to make her pursue you. Plus, you'll level up and become the best version of yourself. Click now. Second sign. She says she misses what you experienced together. When she starts mentioning moments you lived together, that's more than nostalgia. It's emotional strategy. She drops phrases like, "Remember that time we traveled?" Or, "There's a song that made me think of you today." This type of comment isn't random. It's a clear attempt to activate the emotional side of your memory, to pull you, little by little, to a place where she still exists, and where you were still we. These memories are carefully chosen, She won't remind you of the fights, the silences, the misunderstandings. She'll talk about the laughter, the hugs, the nights when the world seemed to fit between the two of you, because that's what she wants to rebuild, the idea that there's still a good history between you. And when she brings this past to the surface, the goal is simple: to reopen doors that perhaps you were starting to close. Pay attention. No one talks about missing someone without wanting something. When she starts pulling this emotional thread, it's because there's still feeling. And more than that, there's intention. She wants you to miss her too. She wants to remind you that despite everything, there was love, and that maybe, just maybe, there's still room to relive it. Third sign. She asks if you still think about her. This question seems harmless, but it carries a gigantic weight. When a woman asks you if you still think about her, what she really wants to know is, do I still have a place inside you? And this doubt only arises when she herself is being taken over by memories, questions, and a void that insists on having your shape. It's not a question thrown to the wind. It's an emotional probing, and often a silent request to be remembered. She might do this directly, like, do you still think about me sometimes? Or disguised in the middle of some joke. It might even come with irony or a light tone, but inside she's on alert, waiting for every word of your answer, as if it were a heartbeat. If you say yes, she feels relief. If you say no, she collapses inside, even if she smiles on the outside. This type of question is one of the most vulnerable a woman asks after a breakup, because she exposes herself, even if she disguises it. And the man who knows how to read this understands she doesn't just want to know what you think. She wants to know if there's still a chance, if she can still try to come back without looking weak, if she can still be a good memory, and maybe, again, the present. Fourth sign, she wants to know if you're dating anyone. When she asks if you're dating anyone, it's not out of politeness, nor innocent curiosity. It's out of pain, because whoever still feels wants to know if they've lost you for good, if they've been replaced, if there's still room, or if someone else has already taken the place that was once hers. This question, as simple as it seems, is loaded with emotional tension. It's like a thermometer. If you say you're not with anyone, she feels hope. If you say you are, she retreats, even if she tries to maintain her pride. She might ask this question disguised in a joking tone like, I bet you're already with someone else, right? Or, you must have 1,000 messages coming your way. But what she's really asking is, are you still available to me? This information, for her, is decisive. Because if you're alone, she starts to build courage. She starts planning her return, even if slowly. And here's the most important detail. If she didn't feel anything anymore, she wouldn't care about this. Whoever asks if you're with someone is, deep down, asking themselves if they still have value in your life. And that, my friend, doesn't come from someone who has moved on. It comes from someone who still cares and is looking for an opening to come back. Fifth sign, she says she's changed or is changing. This is a classic one. When she starts saying she's changed, that she's learned from her mistakes, that she's becoming a different person, you can bet she's preparing the ground. This change she mentions isn't just for her. It's for you to see. It's a warning disguised as a venting session. If you gave me another chance now, maybe it would be different. And this is one of the most common things said when regret starts to set in. She might tell you that she started therapy, that she's matured, that today she thinks differently about things. All of this is, in reality, an attempt to rewrite history, to convince you gently that what didn't work out before might work out now. And even if she doesn't say it in so many words, the subtext is clear. I lost, but I learned. And if you still want to, maybe it will work now. Many men ignore this, thinking it's just a random venting session. But when she shares these transformations with you, it's because she still sees you as someone who can be part of her new version. And that, in itself, is already an implicit invitation to try again. Sixth sign. She shows regret for losing you. This sign appears in the details. She may not say, "I regret it," directly, but she'll let it slip, with phrases like, "I should have acted differently," "You were an incredible person and I didn't value you," or even a simple, "I messed everything up, didn't I?" These phrases are emotional shots, and anyone who has truly loved feels the impact, because it's not easy for anyone to admit a loss, much less for a woman who still holds on to her pride. When she shows this regret, you need to understand, this isn't common. Regret requires courage. It requires looking at your own mistake and realizing that the other person was missed. And if she's willing to verbalize this to you, even in parts, it's because her heart is heavy, and pride at that moment no longer speaks so loudly. The most curious thing is that this type of declaration usually comes in moments of fragility. After a longer conversation, in a lonely early morning, or after seeing something that moved her. And when she opens up like this, the message is clear. If I could go back in time, I would do things differently. But now I can only hope that you see me in a different light. Seventh sign. She makes jokes about how well you matched. This sign is subtle, but very powerful. When she starts making little jokes like, "We were the craziest couple, weren't we?" or "No one understood our jokes." What she's doing is much deeper than it seems. These phrases are attempts to create emotional identification, to remember that you had a unique connection, something that no one else can replicate. It's as if she's saying, "We still understand each other, even separated." This type of comment always carries a hint of longing mixed with humor, because humor is a form of defense. She laughs to not show herself as vulnerable, but inside, she feels it. And she wants to see your reaction. She wants to know if you still laugh along, if you still connect with the memories like she does. Because if the connection still exists, for her, the flame is still burning. These jokes are attempts to resurrect the us in a light way, without forcing it, and that's where their power lies, because they awaken the good side of the memory, what was light, fun, intimate. And if you play along, if you laugh together, if you reminisce, she interprets that as permission, as an opening to get closer again. Because deep down, no one jokes about love if they don't want to play the game again. Eighth sign. She asks if you would forgive her. This question never comes by chance. When a woman asks if you would be able to forgive her, it's because something inside her still wants to come back. This isn't a theoretical question. It's an emotional appeal. She wants to measure how much of you she still has. She wants to know if, even after the mistakes, you still see her as a possibility. And this doubt only appears when the heart is in conflict between pride and regret. She might do this in a light tone, as if just talking for the sake of it. But every word carries weight. Because forgiving, in this context, isn't just forgetting what happened. It's allowing a new chance. And the fear of a negative answer is so great that many times she tries to lead you with phrases like, "If it were today, I would do everything differently," or "Would you be able to forget what happened?" If you notice this question coming from her, understand, she has already thought about coming back. She has rehearsed conversations. She has lived in her mind a reconciliation that only depends on your yes. And if she hasn't yet had the courage to ask to come back directly, it's because she's waiting to know if there's still forgiveness. Because in the end, what she really wants is hope. Ninth sign. She says she wishes things had been different. This phrase seems simple, but it carries the weight of everything she feels and can't fix. When a woman says, "I wish things had been different," she is in fact opening a wound that hasn't healed yet. She's not just talking about what happened. She's talking about what still hurts. It's a disguised request, a desire trapped between regret and longing. And behind this phrase, there's a huge desire to rewrite history with a different ending. This is one of the subtlest ways to show that she's still thinking about coming back, but doesn't know how. She admits with this phrase that there was a mistake, that you got lost, but that part of her still believes that you could have worked out. And when she shares this with you, she's trying to stir your emotions, reactivate that side of you that perhaps still has doubts about leaving everything behind. Most men hear this phrase and think it's just regret, but it's not. It's an attempt to get closer without fully committing. She's throwing an emotional bait. If you feel this way too, maybe we still have a chance. And then everything depends on how you react. Because believe me, no one says a phrase like this if they have already moved on. 10th sign, she says she can't forget you. Here, there's no more room for games. When she reaches the point of saying she can't forget you, it's because pride has already fallen to the ground. She tried to move on, tried to pretend, tried to convince herself that it was better this way, but she failed. And now what's left is a direct confession. Even if wrapped in pain and uncertainty, she admits that you still inhabit her thoughts. And that's rarer than it seems. Many women try to hide this feeling to appear strong, evolved, detached. But when the emotion overflows, they speak. And this phrase is a cry for help, even if she doesn't realize it. It's as if she's saying, "I tried to erase you, but you still live here." And in that moment, she shows herself for real, without filters, without defense, without a mask. If she has reached this point, it's because all other attempts to move on have failed. And now only the truth remains. She couldn't forget you. And the question that hangs in the air is, and you? Because sometimes this is the only push needed for a reunion to happen. And everything depends on how you listen and what you still feel. If this video made a difference for you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every video we create here is thought out with great care, always with the aim of helping you develop and achieve your best version. We want to share practical and direct tips that really impact your life in a positive way. So don't waste time and comment below with the word gratitude and the phrase "in search of my best version." With this, the algorithm will take this video to even more men who are looking for growth. Your engagement in the comments is essential for our content to reach those who need these tips the most. In addition, your support with a like and subscription to the channel strengthens our work and gives us the motivation to continue creating valuable content for your journey. The more you interact, the more men will also have access to this type of information, which only helps our mission to transform lives. So thank you for being with us on this journey. Stay tuned for the next videos, because we are always bringing new things to help you evolve. Big hug, and see you in the next video.